Hello, I got a question from our audience, and the question was, is emotional abuse normalized in Black homes? I'm going to tell you how this could be true. Is it possible that emotional abuse is it possible that emotional abuse is normalized in Black homes? The answer to the question is simply yes. And I'm going to give you 3 to 5 reasons why this may be true. 2, 3. Have you heard things like you have to be 10 times better than your non-Black counterparts? Things like, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. Or you're getting a little bit too thick for those pans, or you know what, if you keep cooking like that, there's probably going to be no man who will marry you. Just a few of the things that you may have heard growing up or continue to say to your children today. And it's questionable if those things can impact the self-esteem of an adolescent or a child. And so let's think about it. Most of those languages or most of those statements are things that help us to be fearful, help us to maintain a level of control over the person without us even knowing, and it also helps to lower the esteem and the decision making of an individual. So I'm going to give you 5 areas that in our Black homes we need to consider when we're thinking that when we think about the concept of emotional abuse. Number 1, refusing to show our children and adolescents the respect and boundaries. Things like, do I honor or share or allow them to have private space or privacy? Things that are as simple as taking off doors from taking off doors off their hinges and telling a person that they have no privacy in this home because you pay the rent. Things that may seem simple but also are internalized messages that gives the person a fearfulness to make healthy decisions, and sometimes to actually explore things. And so when we say things like that, we don't even realize it, but we're actually crossing into boundaries of a healthy individual. Another one is you have to be 10 times as good as your white counterparts. And yes, there is some truth to this statement. I'm not taking that away, because I want you to hear this as not about taking away the statements, but identifying that some of this can impact the emotional development of our children. And so when we say those things, it's holding them to a higher standard that sometimes when they can't accomplish it and or are unable to accomplish it, there becomes this self-loathing and or an ability to kind of judge yourself as not good enough. Some would even argue that it could bring about what could look like internalized racism, where you actually don't feel good about being a part of a race that has to be 10 times better to do something. And then convert messages like, you're getting a little bit too thick for those pans, or if you keep cooking like that, you're never going to get a husband. Those are things that, without even knowing, you're actually impacting the self-esteem or self-image of your children, where it actually helps them it gives them a sense of gauging themselves based off of how they're being seen and or what they can't do to please someone. And so then we have questions in our mind about, am I good enough? Am I capable? Am I going to be able to achieve the goal of quote unquote getting a husband or a spouse, as if those are the only things to work for in our homes. And then last but definitely not least, it's that dominating, manipulative level of control that we sometimes still have on our children as they're entering into adulthood, where you'll find that our children are fearful or less likely to take risk in terms of the possibility of failures, because they also don't want their parent or guardian or someone to feel disappointed, and also they start to judge themselves and compare themselves to others related to that fear. And so it becomes really important as we look at our homes and we start to grow and develop to be able to make our homes a place of exploring and mastering skills, which balances us between what we can do versus who we want to become, right? So it's okay to say, you know what, let's talk about your eating if it's something related to a person's health and them gaining weight, versus saying you're getting too thick to be wearing those jeans. Let's talk about teaching a person skills that will develop them as a human being, not get them actual or reach an actual goal. So as simple as, you know, let's learn how to cook so that you can take care of yourself and you don't have to worry about if your food or if you're not going to have to worry about if you'll be able to take care of yourself versus receive or get someone to love you. And so when you're thinking about these areas, I am definitely not telling you that you have to do it one way or the other, but I'm actually asking you to challenge yourself as we continue to grow a community that is learning to develop its identity and its blackness in different ways. We have to also encourage our young people to be who they are, regardless of what we traditionally see as black enough or not black enough. All right, so again, if you ask me, there are some needs for us to adjust how we're talking to our children and in our families, and it actually might free up our parenting to be more of a relationship that we love. All right, you guys, peace, be well.